Welcome in, Renegades. Now, we have a special live for you today. So basically how we're going to be doing this, I had an exclusive interview with Gold Dow. I had Dustin and Melissa from Gold Dow on the channel. This is an exclusive interview that's going to talk about where Gold Dow is right now. I'm going to prepare you a little bit for this live stream. It was a pleasure to have these two on the channel, learning so much about what they are doing. Now, gold has over a $10 trillion market cap. And so crypto being involved in the mainstream is what is bringing crypto into the forefront. And this is something I've been talking about since 2021, since I first started my channel. And I resonate with projects that have these things that I'm looking for. Now, the first thing is institutional adoption of crypto. That's something we've been talking about since day one. Ever since we saw MicroStrategy, we believe Tesla was going to get involved with Bitcoin. They did. It's kind of easy to predict things with the way that the news and the markets work. So after that, I start thinking, okay, well, traditional finance, the S&P 500, that is one of the biggest economic superpowers in the world, right? And so then I start thinking, well, gold, I mean, if we could get, gold into crypto somehow, that would be absolutely magnificent. So Internet Computer is a blockchain that is going to be the next Amazon Web Services of Web3. It can store everything on chain. Let me just explain blockchain for those of you new to the channel a little bit. Basically, blockchain stores everything on Amazon Web Services. So let's say, for instance, Solana, which is top tier crypto, one of the top cryptos in the world, a lot of amazing projects. Now, what could take Solana to the next level? Well, Solana has a token that is on the blockchain, the SOL token. And it has a lot of capabilities. You could build dApps, you could build all of these things on Solana. Or can you? Is it building on Solana? Technically it is, but everything, the data centers, the servers are all on Amazon Web Services. So yes, you have a Solana crypto token that's on the blockchain, but you have basically everything else stored off chain. So what I look for is in Elon Musk, he's even said this in an interview, wouldn't it be cool to see NFTs and everything on chain? So this is why ICP. So why is mainstream, I think big companies, big global conglomerates, gold, all of these different global superpowers going to be interested in the internet computer? Well, they have AI, they have on-chain cloud hosting services, and real world assets. And today we're going to be talking about real world assets, which is going to be gold that is tied to, let's just call it a serial number that is going to provide value and that you can actually track the gold that you buy that is stored for you as a piece of value. We're going to be talking about a cryptocurrency that is tied to this gold, which is like a stable coin to the value of gold instead of the US dollar. We're going to be talking about the governance of Gold Dow, which is where you can stake and vote on the proposals and have your name heard in this economic shift. And then there's going to be new functions coming out like staking. They're having a new website where you're going to be able to perform a lot of different functions. So let's get right into this live interview. I want to introduce Dustin and Melissa from Gold Dow. And guys, get ready for this interview because they're about to make history and bring more of the actual tangible real world Web 2 into crypto. And that's what we need. That's why this is so important. That's why I am doing this interview today. This is absolutely magnificent for ICP. Okay, so today we have Gold Dow here on the channel, and we are going to be talking about GLDT, gold NFTs, and their governance token, Gold Dow. Now, I want to just get right into this. You guys can just introduce yourselves as we start to talk. I do want to talk a little bit about the NFT first on the gold side of this. So Melissa, I would like you to take this. So now you guys have a NFT that is tied to the value of gold, specifically a certain amount of gold for the NFT. Tell us a little bit about that NFT and how this NFT is tied to gold.
Sure. On the NFT side, so the whole Gold Dow project has different phases, how we actually bring the gold onto the blockchain. And then the first stage is actually from tokenizing gold bar in as an NFT. And then that's how we bring the physical bar onto the blockchain. And then normally a lot of people ask the question, why NFT, right? Because this is the words normally you don't associate it with the physical assets such as gold. People tend to actually think about the profile pictures, random collections, digital arts with the NFT. However, I think a good way to think about it is that just think about NFT as a technology, and it's a technology to allow you to use non-fungible token to bring assets onto the blockchain, right? Whether it's digital art, whether it's a physical art, whether it's I don't know, it's a house, or it can be it can be something in completely virtual, So then the reason why we actually started to do gold and as an NFT is because NFT has this uniqueness of one-to-one link. And this is not something other tokens, traditional crypto token, fungible token actually has. And this unique one-to-one actually reference and link provides a very important attribute that we care about in this whole project, which is transparency, and then which is the additional level of trust that we give into the holders, because they know by holding the NFT, you are actually holding a ownership that link to that specific gold bar with your NFT. So I'll give you an example. If you actually hold a 1 gram bar NFT, and then on the NFT it says 1 gram bar, serial number 01234. What it actually means is that you actually is the owner of that specific bar that actually has the serial number 01234 stored in the vault in Switzerland. Okay, so meaning that you are the owner of that bar, not any other 1 gram bar in the world. It's that specific bar. So it means that whenever at the time you want to claim this physical asset back, we are going to actually give it back to you, that particular one. So this gives really people trust about, okay, my assets are there, and then it's not going to go anywhere. And then by looking at the auditing report that we release every 4 months, you can actually see my gold bar is stored in the vault. So that sets the fundamental of whole the entire Gold Dow project, and then as the fundamental of the later GLDT and the gold token, as we will talk about it later.
Yeah, and so I just want to talk about the market cap of gold. It's over $10 trillion. So bringing these two giants, cryptos at like 3-4 trillion, and then you have gold at 10 trillion, bringing these two markets together and as real world assets, I don't think people are understanding exactly how important that is to have an NFT that's actually tied to the gold as a real world asset. And then having this GLDT token, which I want to let Dustin explain a little bit. Now, GLDT can be traded from this gold NFT. Tell us a little bit about how that works. Tell us a little bit about GLDT, and then maybe some other future plans for that as well.
Yes, of course. So as you already said, and also as Melissa introduced, we have these different layers for the whole tokenization of gold. And the first layer is the gold NFT, which is, as Melissa said, linked one by one or one-to-one by serial number to the gold bar that is stored in the vaults that we have here in Switzerland. And we have different sizes of gold bars. We have the 1 gram, 10 gram, 100 gram, and 1 kilo. And now you can go and either buy the gold NFT, and then you're exposed to the value of gold, and you have the ownership rights of the gold bar that is linked by the serial number. Or you can go and you can swap the NFT for the gold token, GLDT, at a ratio of 1 gram of the NFT for 100 GLDT. So, and then you have a fungible token, which is much more liquid. You can trade on DEXs. You can use in other DeFi protocols. You can put into GLDT staking, which I will go into a bit more detail in a second. So you have a very, very liquid token suddenly, where before the NFT it's more illiquid because you have to have always an explicit buyer for your NFT. But with the GLDT, this very liquid token, you can in the end do much more. And yeah, going to the second part of the question, kind of what we have in line going into the future with this is we are going to release what we call GLDT staking very soon, which is basically a way for people to lock up the GLDT. So the token that is tied to the value of gold and receive staking rewards for this. And to understand how this works, I have to introduce like a third token that we have in our ecosystem, which is the Gold Dow token. So Gold Dow in one word and with one D, representing the governance token of the Gold Dow. And we basically by buying or the Gold Dow token, contrary to the gold NFT and GLDT, the gold token, Gold Dow token is not linked to the value of gold. It's purely linked to the value of the Gold Dow project, of the Gold Dow products in a sense. And basically, when you have the Gold Dow tokens, you can also stake them, and you participate in the governance of the Gold Dow, because the Gold Dow is it's not a company or anything. It's a DAO where Melissa and we are just part of the main team, or the very early team contributing to the Gold Dow. But technically, it's a DAO, and anybody who has Gold Dow tokens can participate in building, can participate in the governance, in voting on proposals, and by doing so, you earn staking rewards. And those staking rewards, they are multifold. There's, on the one hand, there's the native project token Gold Dow, where you get staking rewards, but also ICP, which come from NNS neurons that are owned by the Gold Dow, coming from the initial fundraising, where basically the Gold Dow staked 70% of the funds that were raised, and those rewards are in part going to the Gold Dow voters, and also OGY tokens as rewards, coming from a donation from the Origin Foundation, because the Gold Dow is building on top of the gold NFT, which is powered by the Origin NFT and the Origin protocol. So Origin donated 500 million OGY tokens to the Gold Dow as being one of the very early adopters of the Origin NFT. And then also the Gold Dow has 1 million water neuron tokens coming from an investment that the DAO did in the summer of last year. So yeah, staking Gold Dow tokens is and participating in the Gold Dow governance is it's actually very lucrative for anybody, because you have around 25% APY if you lock up for 2 years. So it's a very nice return of investment. And going back to the initial loop, why I introduced this with the GLDT staking, basically you lock up your GLDT, and then you earn also rewards coming from the Gold Dow governance.
So you're talking my language now. So you mentioned staking. So I'm a community-oriented person. I have been the whole time in here. And it's very important that we show our community that supports us a lot of love and giving back. And so you guys have provided multiple ways to do that for your community. And I like to see that from, how you have the website where you're rewarding people with all these different kinds of tokens just for, holding and being a part of this project. I love that kind of stuff. Now, I do want to talk about GLDT as a stable store of value, right? Because you wouldn't think of it. You'd think, oh yeah, the NFT that's tied to gold, so that's going to be, the the one that is going to kind of stabilize the price to gold. Well, as you were mentioning earlier, if you put that NFT into a canister, you can trade 100 grams of gold or 1 gram of gold for 100 GLDT tokens. So I do want to talk about GLDT as a gold-backed stable asset, as sort of a stable coin. So I just want to ask you, how can holders utilize GLDT as a form of stable value during market turbulence like we've seen the last 6 months? And are there future mechanisms planned to enhance its role as a gold-backed digital asset?
Yes, I can start here. So basically, when you when people usually think about stablecoins, you tend to think about US dollar pegged stablecoins, because these are the most common ones, USDT, USDC. But if you think about the definition of a stablecoin, it's a token that is tied to the value of something. It can be tied to the value of US dollars. But in the case of GLDT, GLDT is tied to the value of gold. So you have a token which, when you invest into it, it will always follow the value of gold. And this makes GLDT actually a very powerful mechanism against market volatility. So if you are exposed to ICP or you're exposed to Bitcoin, and you want to take profits, it may actually be better to put it into GLDT as opposed to putting it to a US dollar stablecoin, because you are also hedged against inflation. So GLDT is exactly this. It's a safe haven in a sense in volatile times. And if you want to reduce the risk and exposure to market fluctuations, GLDT, or in a sense gold, because GLDT is just a digital representation of gold, but basically putting your assets into gold via the very easy way of trading on a DEX into GLDT. You can hedge against these market volatilities. And going to the second part of your question, I just briefly touched already before, but basically what we have in mind very soon to release is the GLDT staking. So as I said, you can buy GLDT, and then you can lock it into a smart contract, the canister, and earn staking rewards by locking your GLDT there. So it's basically you buy gold and you earn interest on top of it. And this is very, very unique, because normally when people buy gold, they buy gold and they leave it there and they put it into a vault and you're just exposed to the value of gold. But now you have a very novel way to buy gold and earn interest on top of it. So this is something that we are all very, very excited about, and are very excited to release this very soon.
I can't wait to see the staking protocol. Now it's like staking gold. That's what I'm like, wait, are we staking gold now? We just put gold and it starts to gain more gold. Like, you can't do that in a real vault. Like, you can't put a gold bar in there and then, oh, now there's like a little other piece on top of your gold bar of gold. That doesn't happen. So being able to actually earn value off of it and having it liquid like that. Now, if I have a gold bar, I got to go somewhere and go sell it. I got to find a place that's going to buy my gold. I have to go out and I have to go physically sell my gold. Well, or buy it. Either way, it's going to take a lot of effort. Now, you guys just kind of bridged a gap to be able to come in and out of gold seamlessly, liquid, and be able to, provide value to the people that are holding through staking rewards, through holding a real world asset with an NFT, making it easy on them. I love what you guys are doing. Melissa, I do want to pick your brain a little bit, because you have a lot that you have told me about what you guys are doing. Explain Biddy a little bit, tell people where they can interact with some of this stuff, and I'll put every way to contact you guys, from all your websites to your Twitter stuff, down in the description. But just kind of give us a little bit of that.
Sure. So the way actually BT plays a part in this whole Gold Dow ecosystem is through having the platform to allow people to buy and sell the gold NFT. I know, when it comes to selling NFT, people think about it's actually, it's simple. Like you can actually buy, sell it from any marketplace. But in reality, it's not, because as I mentioned at the beginning, even though it's an NFT, but it's actually a real gold bar, representing a real gold bar. So in a way, it is using NFT as a wrapper, but underneath of the NFT, you are trading gold. So therefore, if you think about the traditional gold market, that it's a regulated market, it's a regulated investment market, So it's you cannot actually randomly go into OpenSea and decide I want to try and buy, sell gold. That's not how the actually gold market is working. And this is the reason why actually we need a platform like BT, and BT is a regulated crypto trading platform in Switzerland for 11 years old. So, and then that's why you need a platform like BT to provide anyone a regulated and then secure the platform for them to buy, sell the NFT. And I know this is also sometimes people trying to argue, hey, I heard about BT where you can actually buy and sell gold bar, but I also see that you need to do KYC, and I don't like doing KYC. But unfortunately, that's not how, the whole gold market is working. I mean, yes, you have some DEXs that you don't need to do KYC, but when it comes to the gold, like I said, it's a traditional gold, it's a traditional investment, right? It's a protected market. And then there's a certain regulation and rules you need to follow in order for you to trade gold. And then think about the positive way, this is also a protection for any investors, as you are buying through a regulated platform, rather than buying from a marketplace. You don't know where it's actually, it's operated from. So I think when you think about this, there's always two angles of thinking about this. In a nutshell, like what you can do on the BT is that you can find 4 different types of gold bar from 1 gram all the way until 1 kilo. So, I mean, if you want to buy the gold bar as a bulk, like for example, you don't want it to use it as a stablecoin, you simply want to hold the tokenized gold bar, then you can buy this gold bar as different sizes as you want. And then after that, if you want to turn it into a GLDT, because you heard that the GLDT can stake and give you additional yield, then perfectly, you can bring this gold bar into the swap canister of GLDT, turn it into a gold stablecoin, right? In a way, and then you can stake them. You can actually use them, as a payment currency, whatever you want. I mean, we could go to the dinner together and then say, hey, we need to split the bill. And instead of paying you USGD, I decide to pay you gold. Why not? There's many use cases like that. And then the people can also see it as a store of value, because instead of holding dollars, then the gold has a, better store of value compared to dollar. A typical example I always like to remind people is to think about how gold is performing over the past 20 years. If you look at the gold price against dollar has appreciated on the average every year 10%, right? Meaning that another way to understand it is that the US dollar depreciate against gold 10% every year. So now you have two choices. You want to hold the dollar or you want to hold gold on the long term. So in the past, we don't have the choice, right? Because for the crypto people, like, where can I easily find gold? Like if my 80% of my portfolio is on crypto and on the blockchain, how am I easily go to a local gold broker and say, hey, here's my Bitcoin, sell me some gold? That's not that easy, So I think we bring this solution, and I think people need to actually, I think it gives people a chance to choose. You want the dollar or you want the gold as your hedge?
I love it. And so that's the cool thing. You could do the KYC, get your legit gold, or if you don't want to do KYC and you still want access to gold, you go buy the GLDT token.
Exactly.
You guys have provided every opportunity. I love what you're doing. I love the other projects that are supporting you, from OGY, Water Neuron, all these OG projects. The way you guys are handling this in the direction that you're going, I think is going to be great for all of us. My audience loves staking. We love real world assets. So I think you guys are a perfect fit for the channel. Melissa, Dustin, thank you both for coming on the show. It was a pleasure to have you. I would love to have you again on the channel one day when you guys are the biggest gold holder in Switzerland. So let's have that happen. Thank you so much. Is there anything else either of you wanted to say before we go?
Well, I guess just thank you for having us. It was a pleasure chatting with you, Jeff. And yeah, let's, I guess to everybody listening, follow us on Twitter. Stay tuned to what we have lined up with staking, also with the new Gold app that we're going to release. So follow along, buy some GLDT, stake some GLDT when you can, stake some Gold Dow. You can do that already now, get some nice staking rewards. So yeah, happy to see anybody of you in our community.
Yep, and then if anyone is going to show up next week in the World Computer Summit in Zurich, and which also happens to be the four-year anniversary of ICP, and then we have a lot of people from the team, from the Gold Dow developing team and the BT side will be present there. We would love to meet you in person and then talk to you. Yes.
Yeah, go meet the team if you're going to be in Switzerland. Unfortunately, I can't be there. I was really hoping to. My daughter just got married. I just got done traveling, so I got to work and stuff. But thank you guys for being on the channel. Everybody, go follow these guys. Get yourself some gold bars if that's what you want to do. Get some GLDT. Get ready for staking and go vote in some governance. 25% rewards. Come on. All right, guys. That being said, goodbye and good ICP. Bet. All right, guys. So that went really well. I'm really happy with that interview. They got all of the amazing things that they're doing out to you guys for you to see. Wait for that staking, guys. And right now you can earn 25%. So if you stake on the NNS for ICP, you're getting like it's under 15%, somewhere around 15%. Probably went down a little bit since last time I checked it. But you get 25%. And you only have to lock that up for 2 years instead of 8 years. So go out, support some Gold Dow projects, get some GLDT, get some NFTs if you're cool with KYC. Go vote in the governance and be part of history, guys. And so I just wish you guys the best. I'm not going to do anything else for this video today. I did want to share that interview with you guys. And hopefully we'll have these guys on the channel again. And maybe I'll meet them in Switzerland and some of you. All right, guys, we'll do it one more time. That being said, goodbye and good ICP.